Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, welcome back to the Frame Myself podcast. My name is Quantum. And this episode we talk about when a business has been around for a long time. They actually know what they're doing. And it's funny the experience that they had. And it's like you see, you always see as a thing where, you know, one of the things you have to really look at with experience now. And it's just one of those things where I see a post and they talk about it's called grades important or experience. It's both are important, but experience is something that you can actually look at. Is that you can look at a company history, and if they've been around, if they're still around, you can always tell that they been through a lot. So like this company that I am now, like something random and it never makes sense until the situation happened, and then now I see the many use cases for it. Is something like something as simple as a wheelchair, and it's like, oh, why is that so? In that random situation, and what happened was that something happened with my family where that wheelchair thing just came in handy. And it's like one of those things where be like, yo, when a business that's been around for a while, bro, it's like they know what they're doing. It's like so, and the thing about it is that that's it with me and stuff where, I want to go into the future and get all the nice accessory, get the latest phone and all these stuff. But, yeah, it just don't happen overnight. So sometimes you go into a business that they have this old stuff well, that's the best that they can do. That's the best that they can do at this point. Like for example, when I go to school, it's always see them with this old set of computers. Um, but they are working. They're not old. They're just like this basic custom computer. Like basically, if you go to any other offices, it's basic custom computer because it works. It works, and it's like it doesn't make sense to try to go to try to fix something that's not broken at this point when the cost for a better solution is a lot, is a lot, and then untested. That's the thing, untested. It's like the whole way is been beta tested. Of course, there are new better ways, but it's like research and development. It's robust testing. It all basically bring that out. It's like shit. It's just there. But as I said, it does something like that. You can always look at a company history, see how long they have been there, and they can always tell by that. Like they know their stuff. They know their stuff. So it's like here a company that's been around for centuries and stuff like that. Yeah, they know their stuff. You know this. And it's like, but that doesn't mean that you can't do certain changes. It doesn't mean that. That means that it will take a time. You can't just walk in and be like, yo, you gotta make this change and all that. So it takes time for you to even establish yourself in a business like that, and then to make a change. And but not only that, if you make a change in that company, that change will be so significant, bro. Simple thing that is so significant and like bro, that one chip, that chain that basically 10x the company forever. And it's like you feel like you're this one person, but that's the thing. You have to just basically just do it. But it's just one of those experiences where be like, as you go and go into companies and stuff like that, company is going to have a history. And going to job when you're going to the job training, you're gonna hear about company history, like oh, we've been here for like how many years, 25 years. I hear something like we've been here since 916 something or 918 something else, 18 since the 1800s. And it's like, we record this, even this podcast, you're like, oh, we've been here for 4 years now. 4 years. This podcast, it's been here for 4 years. And it's like, through trials and tribulations, we learn a lot. We have learned a lot. So all these stuff, well, at this time, it's not the best, but it's been battle tested. That this is the best that we can do at this point. But there's still ways to go. But it's one of those things where next thing you can learn is you can always look at a company's history, see how long that they been around, and you can basically look at that and be like, oh, yeah, this is a good company where, well, that doesn't mean that, okay, it's a good company. There's a company that means like, oh, you know, when you go in there, certain stuff is going to be in place and you may say, oh, yeah, why is that in place? It's because of one situation that, it happens a lot, but you may not see it. You may not see it. So you may think that, oh, that situation is just not important. Yeah, it is actually important, but it's just that you come in. So boom, you have say, best case scenario or normal working scenario. Boom, you're working from like 20 to 6. It come 20 to 65, because 65 will be your retirement age. Then boom, you leave the company and you retire. Then someone else come in and stuff like that. The history of people. You're basically like um 45 years in the company's history. That's been around for centuries. 45 years of a company's history that's been around for centuries. You will play your significant role, but at the end of the day, you'll move on and stuff. So it's like, the business will be there. So that's also one of the stuff we're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, you can always look at the history to say, okay, yeah, when look at a company history, you'll be like, okay, yeah, when certain things are in place, is because, yeah, they have gone through a rigorous process, and this is the best solution to that problem. That doesn't mean there's a better solution that there, but that's the best one. And then not only that, not only that, your solution might be there, and you may say, okay, why is that solution there? And it's because uh, your solution might be there, and you don't know the problem that it fixes. What happens that it fixes a problem, just that you may not actually been around long enough to see what problem it fix. Yeah, so that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.